The day began with Arizona House Speaker Russell Rusty Bowers, a Republican, a man who actually, during his testimony, said he wanted Donald Trump to win. He voted for Donald Trump. Nevertheless, he says he resisted repeated requests from Trump and his allies to change the 2020 election results from Arizona. The reason being he saw no evidence supporting the claims of fraud and didn't want to be used as a pawn. He also specifically stated his duty to the Constitution required that he, move forward and submit the electors that were for now President Joe Biden. Bowers also spoke to efforts by Rudy Giuliani, who wanted him to decertify the election. He wanted him to replace the elected Joe Biden electors certified by the state legislator with fake Trump ones. Bowers also commented that at one time Giuliani sort of made a comment that he had no evidence regarding the election fraud, and Bowers said he thought maybe this was a bit of a Freudian slip on Giuliani's part, and that multiple witnesses to the comment afterwards sort of laughed about it. The fact that he had essentially admitted, one way or another, that they had no evidence. Also, Bowers mentioned that, again, back to White House Attorney John Eastman had pushed Bowers to decertify the electors. He said even if they didn't think or know if it defied the Constitution, he just wanted them to do it. Bowers, again, Eastman said, just do it and let the courts sort it out. So again, pushing for activities that they know to likely be not legal or possibly even not able to do, and possibly illegal, but still pushing for them to occur. Next, we had Georgia Secretary of State Brad Raffensberger, again, a Republican. This is the one who Trump asked to find enough votes, right? You remember the sort of now infamous phone call, fellas, I need 11,000 votes, give me a break. Also, his deputy, Gabe Sterling. During his testimony, Raffensberger debunked several claims by the Trump administration of election fraud. He went sort of point by point, and these were some of the things that they tried to use to pressure him to overturn the results in Georgia. According to Raffensberger, the claim was that 10,315 dead people voted. They found 4. That 66,000 underage voters voted. They found 0, believing that this was related to the fact that in Georgia, if you are 17 and a half, you are allowed to register to vote as long as you will be 18 on election day. Again, the claim by the Trump campaign was that there were 2,423 non-registered voters. Raffensberger noted they found 0. 2,056 felons was the claim voted. Raffensberger said there were 74 or less who were still on a felony sentence that actually voted. And then in relation to this point-by-point account, Raffensberger quote, Raffensberger, the numbers are the numbers. Okay. So just, again, demonstrating how far these Republican officials went to investigate these claims of election fraud. Also in Georgia, there were multiple recounts, multiple audits. There was the now debunked video from the State Farm Center in Atlanta. But, again, the push by the campaign, by Trump, by his administration officials, by some of his attorneys was, again, to continue to push for overturning a free and fair election. Committee also heard from Sheamus, who was an election worker in Georgia. She was wrongly accused of committing election fraud by Trump and Trump allies. She was subject to attacks, and her mother, Ruby Freeman, was also subjected to attacks. Overall, many of these officials, Bauer, Raffensberger, Sterling, Moss, and Ruby Freeman, as well as others, were doxxed. They were faced with threats. Ruby Freeman, some even so severe that the FBI actually advised her to leave her home so that she would be safe. And there was additional pressure as well from Congress. Arizona Republican Representative Andy Biggs wanted Bowers to sign an actual decertification of electors. Bauer, of course, refused. And then in this hearing, we also found the information that Senator Ron Johnson, a Republican from Wisconsin, had actually made an offer through his office to the vice president's office to deliver actual fake electors to Vice President Mike Pence. There were text messages between a staffer for Johnson and a staffer for then Vice President Mike Pence, stating that Senator Johnson had some papers that he needed to get to Mike Pence, and this was just literally minutes before the January 6th process was to occur. Then once it was sort of determined that what it was that they were trying to give him, Pence's aide said, do not give those to the vice president. And this really, all of this just really demonstrates exactly how far the Stop the Steal effort was willing to go to achieve their end.